Hi everybody, I'm back again with another unboxing. This is going to be a series of probably 3 videos, maybe 4, depends. It's Rum Bones, the Second Tide, Kickstarter stuff. This is everything that you get with the Kickstarter and for this game. I haven't played it yet. I've had this game a couple of months. I've had the original one, the first series of this ever since it first came out, and I still haven't even played that yet. I'm a bit of a board game hoarder, really. I do get round to playing them eventually, but I'm really a big collector of these sort of things, and I like to get them painted up and so on and so forth. But so this is part 1, and part 1 we're going to concentrate on the base game. Part 2 I'll probably do the expansions, and then part 3 will be all the extra minis and other little bits and pieces. So without further ado, let's take a look at this. As you can see in the background, I've already taken the pieces out just for speed purposes. So we'll move on to the cards first. You get 2 little decks of cards. You've got there's 2 factions in this game, again, like you get with the first release. But as you can see, I think I'm right in saying that you got 2 decks, one deck for each faction, because it's got the blue, that'd be for one faction, and if we look further back, you've got the brown background there for the other faction. I could be wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but these are double-sided. That's level 2, and that's the level 1 you've got. You get quite a few of these little cards. I'm not going to bore you with all that. The other deck of cards you get is a bigger deck, and these are your items and things like that you can get to power up your characters. Again, I think these are for one deck for one faction, one deck for another. So you've got the background there for that faction, and if we move further down the pack, there's the other faction. So it's specific for each one. What I will probably do is, when I do get around to eventually playing these games, I'll mix the 2 sets together, and at random I will pick a team out for each person, so you don't get to choose who you want. It's a good way of learning how to play with all the different factions that you get in the game. But the artwork is really nice on this. Great quality, again, by Cool Mini or Not. And as you'll see with the minis, good quality on the minis as well. So that's just cards. There are other people out there who do a more in-depth unboxing of these. If you want to get more info on the cards, then check out some other people's videos. This is the rulebook. I think it's pretty much, if you know how to play the first one, you shouldn't have any problem picking this one up. There'll probably be a few little differences here and there. Sorry about the darkness, it's quite dark here in the UK today. But again, all very nicely laid out, nice colour photographs. Looks fairly straightforward to read and pick up and play. What I tend to do is I go online first, and I check out on the how to play videos that people have done to get a good idea of how to play it, and then I read the book and go into it in a little bit more detail. I find that's the best way to do it. So these are the 2 factions that you got. You've got the Deep Lords, which are sea-based or fish-based people. And then you've got Maria de la Muerte, which is like a Spanishy type faction. That's just showing you the main heroes. So that's that book. Then we have this here. Looks like it's the a tracker for progression through the game. Again, nice artwork. Then we have some punch outs. I believe these are double-sided, so obviously different factions for different punch outs. That's the Kraken, which I won't need because I have actually, with the Kickstarter, you get a Kraken miniature, so I won't need to use that with him to show him on the board. So you get those bunch of punch outs. There's quite a few. There's the Kraken tile, sorry. Again, loads of different punch outs on that. That's obviously for bridging between the ships, I think. And then your last sheet of punch outs. It's quite thick, so it will stand the test of time, which you find with a lot of Cool Me or Not games. Next up we have the board. Now, I know it's the only way they can really get it in the box, but I do not like these fold-in boards, mainly because over time they are going to rip or tear in the joints there, and I hate that. But this is the first boat, first board. Again, really nice artwork, great detailing in the art there. It's quite a thick board, so it will stand a test of time for that, but it's just these bends that I have a problem with. And here's the second board. Obviously with the expansions you get additional boards. Sorry about the bad camera work, but it's the miniatures that you want to see, which is why I'm going through this fairly quickly. It's pretty standard fare. You've seen it all before if you've seen videos on the original game when it came out. And you get a third board. I believe, yes, looking at it, this is exactly the same as this one. So one faction obviously has two ships and the other faction has one large ship. They are single-sided as well. As I was just saying, if you've seen the videos on the original Rum Bones game, then it's pretty much a similar sort of thing. You get just normal dice with the Kickstarter campaign. You get custom dice, which you'll see in later videos. I'll just give you a quick look inside the box before we move on to the character cards. If I pull all this out, there are some areas in here to place other cards as well. So you could probably put some little expansions in this box. So there's one set there for cards, another slot there. So you've got two other slots there for more cards. And you could probably put all your boards in here actually. So that is that part of the box. We'll now move on to the character cards. These are obviously for the 5 main or 6 main heroes. No, sorry, 5 main heroes and special characters. Again, I'm just trying to remember the name of the factions. So this is the Deep Lords. Here's your captain, single-sided. Obviously for leveling up you just level up the cards, rather than some games you can turn the card over and it levels up, but not with this one. So these are all the Deep Lords, fish-based sort of characters. I will try and match the miniatures with the cards when we have a look at the miniatures. And it shows you up in the top what type of character they are. So it's a swashbuckler, but we'll touch on that a little bit more when we show the actual miniatures themselves. Okay, and this is the Maria de la Muerte models crew. Go through these fairly quickly. See, there's Quartermaster. So with the Kickstarter campaign, as with the previous version of this, you get mercenaries and other factions that you can add as well. Plus you get sort of 3D sort of models to represent the cannons and all that sort of thing as well. Here's the Kraken. And the Sea Dragon. So that's the character cards. You get bases as well. You seem to see a lot of now. So when you've painted up your miniatures, you can put these bases on so you know which faction's yours, just in case the colours clash on the board. So we'll take a look at the first big tray first. It comes out of this box. And these are all the minions, as it were. This is the cannon fodder. So this is the Muerte. I'll just shorten that. The Muerte sort of gang. I'll give you a quick look at different types of miniatures. I'll just try and get some light on it here if I can, to show you the detailing. But they are really nice miniatures. You've got a whole row of them. The next row down is these guys. So I say these are like the Spanish conquistadors or Spanish sort of sailors from years gone by. These are like the deckhands and the bosun, I believe, if I remember rightly. And finally these guys. So you get 4 different types. Fish in his hand by the looks of it. So that's that faction for the grunts, as I like to call them. And these are the Deep Lords. It's probably quite a popular one. I think they're sort of based loosely on the Pirates of the Caribbean characters from Davy Jones's boat. Again, you get 4 different sculpts. They look quite nice when they're painted up. Christ knows when I'll get round to getting that done. But it will be done eventually. It might take a few years before they're actually done, because I've got so many games that have got to be painted up. I'm concentrating on Zombicide Black Plague at the moment. There's a female character. So that's all the cannon fodder that you get. Quite a lot of miniatures there. Now we'll move on to the main characters themselves. So I'll try and get these in order if I can. So we'll start with the Deep Lords. So the first one we'll take a look at is Kakarius, or whatever he's called. And if I can just find him, there he blows. Captains are always in white. Pretty difficult to pick up the detailing on these with this colour, but you can see it is there. So that's him. Next one we have the Brute, which is like a whale or porpoise type creature. And if I can find the Brute, it's supposed to be colour coded, so he's green. See, it's colour coded, so it's green there, so he'll be green miniature. See him a little bit better. Next up we have the Quartermaster, Waldorf. Sorry, his name was Ishmael. Now we have Waldorf, which is the red. So that's this guy. Really bright, vibrant colours, these. You don't really need to paint them, but it's always great to have painted miniatures. It just brings the game to life a lot more. Next up we have the Gunner. This is Kyria and Carl. So there's 2 of them together, as you can see, I think. And that is the purple. So here she is. When they are painted up, I will do a video of the finished products. And I believe finally for the Deep Lords we have the Swashbuckler, which is Snapjaw. And here he is. These are a lot larger miniatures than the second faction in this game. So that's the Deep Lords. We'll now look at the Muerte Miniatures. So this is the crew. Obviously these are the I don't know why they've got that one in there actually. I'll have to check up on that. I'll put that to one side. So here's the captain. This is Viana or Vane. I think it's Viana. And again, color coded. So she's the white one. Very nice. Next up we have the Brute, which is Don Santiago. Brutes are always the biggest ones. It's just a mirror image of his picture on there. But you can see the detail a lot more on this brighter colours. Next up we have the Quartermaster, El Latigo. So it's the red one, which is this guy. Then we have the gunner, Gabriella. And she's in blue. So this is, or purple. So this is her. Just about pick out the detail there. When you see them in hand, you will see the detail. It is rather nice. But you always get that with Cool Mini or not. Now we have the Swashbuckler De Marco. And that's in yellow. So here he is. And then we have the crew. So yeah, it's one card for all the crew. So you've got this crew for the Muerte group, and this crew card for the Deep Lords. So yeah, there you go. That is, I know it's very, very quick, but that is the base game for Rum Bones Second Tide. As I say, the next video will be the expansions for this. I believe there's 2 of them. I'll just give you a quick gander. I've got a bit of a messy room here, but there they all are down there, with the coins and the dice and all that sort of thing. And I got this game through as well, Dark Souls, so expect an unboxing of that one soon. So yeah, that's Rum Bones Second Tide. So until the next video, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.